All right, what is going on? It is Nate, and we got another video today. We are talking about the psychology of money, right? So let me turn on my pen, step one. So, psychology of money. And so I feel like this is a topic that no one really talks about. I've studied a lot of mindset, I've studied a lot of the way the world works, the laws, right? I've studied all this stuff, but no one really talks about like what money truly is and the way it works, because I feel like if you have an understanding of what money actually is, you'll understand that it comes to you and it leaves you on a specific law and specific times, under certain circumstances. And so if you want to earn more money, you just do certain things, right? And I can show you how you could change your life, how you can make these adjustments to start earning more money. And then you won't worry about spending money because you know where to get the money, right? And so it's kind of like once you have this cycle and you're like, okay, I'm really good at earning money. Anytime I want to earn money, I know how to do it. I know how to bring that opportunity into my life. Then you're not going to care about spending money, right? And you have to realize that money needs to be flowing. You don't want money to be locked away in a safe, because one of the laws of the world, right? It's create or disintegrate, right? So if you just sit here and you do nothing, you're slowly disintegrating, right? And eventually you're going to die. But if you are creating, then you are growing, right? And so an example of this is you see the older people that are active, they stay active, they're worried, they care about their diet, they're still doing these things, they're still involved. They live longer than usually the person who just sits around and doesn't do anything, right? Because they're disintegrating while the other person is creating, they're growing, and I'm not saying you're going to live forever, but that's just my point is like you either create and you're growing and you're active and you're providing value, or you disintegrate, right? Same thing with money. If you're not providing any value, if you're not rendering any service, if you're not selling any products, your money is going to be decreasing, right? Because money itself is increasing. It's inflation. Money is always increasing. So the value of money, if you aren't earning any more, is decreasing. So you're either adding to your money or your money is dwindling, right? Create or disintegrate. Your money never stays the same. Well, even if your bank account looks like it's staying the same, your money never stays the same. It's always decreasing because of inflation, right? So we're gonna really get into this. This is actually gonna be a banger video. It already is a banger video. So, the psychology of money. So first, you need to understand what is money, right? What is money, right? So you'll be like, oh, well, it's paper, it's currency, whatever it is, right? So you have to understand that money is energy. Money is energy. Food is energy, your energy, the water's energy, the light bulb is energy. Everything around you is all created from the same thing, which is energy, right? God created everything. And a lot of people will say God is energy, right? God is everywhere. God is everything. God is 100% evenly present at all places at all times, right? So we can agree that everything around us, everything we see, everything we hear, everything we smell, everything we touch is a different arrangement of the same thing, right? So everything is a different arrangement of this energy that has created this world, right? And so we know if you look in theology and if you look in science, we know that creation is finished, right? It says in the Bible, creation is finished. So we aren't creating anything new. We're simply rearranging the way things look, right? We're not creating these new trees. We're planting these seeds and we're rearranging the seed, right? We plant it and then it turns into something new. We didn't create that, right? It's just that the everlasting cycle of cause and effect, and the law of gender, and all these different laws that work together to make the world go round, right? So you have to understand that money is energy. It's not paper, it's energy, right? It's value. There's value behind it. The money itself doesn't do anything. It's the idea behind the money, right? The $100 bill, you can't do anything with that. But if someone else is like, oh, that's $100, all of a sudden there's value, right? So you have to understand money is just paper and money is energy, just like everything else. And so energy, right? Or as many say, I believe that God is everywhere. He's 100% evenly present in all places at all times, right? So I think God is everywhere. God is everything. And so personally, my beliefs are that God is, he's the creator of everything and he is in everything. I don't think he's some guy in the sky looking down on us with a cane and a big beard. I think he's 100%. I think he's so if he's everywhere and he's everything, you can't even picture what this really is, right? We couldn't even fathom the real logistics behind this world. So I'm not going to try, right? So when I say energy, if I say God, I know I probably intertwine them, but it's kind of referring to the creation of everything, what everything is, right? God is, energy is, they both are everything, right? And it's just whatever perspective you choose, I choose God. So we know that God is always for expansion and fuller expression, right? So we know that God is always for expansion and fuller expression. What does that mean? Look outside, right? The trees want to grow, the grass wants to grow, the animals want to grow, the people want to grow. You want to make more money, you want to have more cars, you want to have a bigger house, you want to have a bigger car, you want to have a nicer car, a newer car, you want better food, you want more food. You want to do more things, right? Everybody wants more. You want to do more. Everything wants to be more, right? That is God within you trying to express itself. That's why you have these desires. That's why you want more money. That is God within you. That is your inner spirit within you trying to express itself, right? You're trying to pretend you're a tree. You're trying to sprout, right? You're trying to turn into this new version of you. You're trying to grow, and that's what God wants. God wants expansion and expression, right? God is always for the greater good. So you have to understand that if money is energy, right? And we know that energy and God are always for expansion and fuller expression. We know that these things are always wanting to grow. Then it must be true that the money wants to be going somewhere where there's growth, right? It's attracted to growth. The plant is attracted to the sunlight. The plant is attracted to the water, right? It wants the things that are going to make it grow. So we know money is going to be attracted to growth. So what does this mean to you? How does this apply to you, right? Money is attracted to growth. God always wants growth. God wants greater good. Energy is always growing. Energy never dies, right? It's reformed. So it never dies. So it's always trying to grow and reform and recreate. So you have to understand that money is that same way. Money wants to be growing, it wants to be moving, it wants to be flowing, and it's going to be attracted where it feels like it can grow. And I know this might sound like way over the top, like, well, what are you even talking about? Money is just a piece of paper. But let me just continue to explain here. So money is attracted to growth. So what is growth, right? Growth is value. So if I charge you $100 for this video, and then you watch this video and you go make $10,000 with these ideas, I just provided $9,900 of additional value over what I charged, right? So now these people and these opportunities are going to be attracted to me because the world, God, the universe knows that there is more life here. I am providing value, I am providing growth, I am providing expansion, I am helping other people grow, so therefore I will grow, right? Whether that's emotionally, whether that's in my bank account, whatever it is, if I am helping others grow, I am going to grow, right? So we know growth is value. And if money's attracted to growth, it's attracted to value. So if you want more money, you need to provide more value. And so this is where a lot of people mess up, is they're like, I want to make this much money, I want to do this, I want to do this. But they don't actually realize that that means they're going to have to provide more value. The money's not going to come to you just because you said it. It's not going to come to you just because you're like, I want to make this much. And it's like, okay, yeah, here you go. You're going to have to take these new steps to become the person who provides more value. Now, this value doesn't have to be physically. If you are leaving everyone with the impression of increase, right? Everyone you talk to, sorry, let me turn on my do not disturb so I don't get notifications. Everybody that you talk to, everybody that you deal with, everybody in a business transaction, if you are leaving everyone with the impression of increase, you are naturally going to grow. You are going to be worth more, right? So you need to ask yourself, what value am I providing? Right? So money is compensation for value, right? So you're not going to make more money if you don't provide more value, right? So think of it like a job. If you have a wage, say 20 bucks an hour, that is what you're valued at. They value you at $20 an hour. Now, hypothetically, say you start going above and beyond. You're doing everything you can plus more. You're overfilling your cup, right? You're stepping in here, stepping up over there, helping clean this, helping do that, right? You're everywhere you can be all the time. You do everything you can do every day. You're kind, you're helping people, you're doing everything you can, and you're not worried about if they're going to give you a raise. They're probably not going to give you any money. They may not pay you any extra, but you're always going to go above and beyond. By law, as you continue to do this, you are outgrowing your situation, and by absolute law, you will be attracted into this new venture of your life, right? Whether they give you a raise, whether they give you a new opportunity, or if you have to go elsewhere for this growth, the opportunity will come to you because you outgrew your environment, because you provided more value than they were paying, right? It's that gap. That's what money loves. That's what growth is. It's when you have the cost, you have the value, and there's the gap. That is how you grow. If you're just right on, then the people that do business with you, they don't feel like they're winning. People who come in contact with you, they don't feel like they're winning. Everybody just doesn't really care. But when people are like, hey, that guy, I paid him $100, but holy smokes, he changed my life, right? That's growth. They are attracted to that. They're going to come back to you. They're going to tell everyone about you, and they're going to bring back all of these people because of the growth that you are providing, because you are showing them more life. So money, right, is compensation for value. So ask yourself, what value am I providing? So if I, right, so this is like kind of put yourself in the situation. If I want to earn more money, how, I turn my fan off because it's loud, but it's hot in here. How can I provide more value? Right? So this is my thing. And this, I made a video about cause and effect, and I'm kind of going to touch on that right now. But if you want to earn more money, that is an effect. Money, right? So money is the result, and value is the cause. Right? So you provide more value, the money will come. You provide value, the money will come. When you go spend money, you're not necessarily buying whatever it is you're buying the value behind that. You're only buying stuff if you think it's worth it, right? If you go to the store and there's yogurt that's $5 and there's yogurt that's $3, you're only going to buy the $5 one if you think it's worth the extra $2, right? You look at the value. Is it worth paying $2 more for organic grass-fed Greek yogurt or whatever? Or am I just going to pay the $3 one, right? You look for the value in everything. And so if you want to make more money, by law, you must provide more value. So instead of saying, how can I earn more money? How can I earn more money? How can I earn more money? I don't know how to make money. I don't know what to do to earn money. Just ask yourself, how can I provide value? Right? Which is, like I just said, cross that out, which is the cause, right? So the result is more money, which is the effect. So many people are trying to change the effect without putting in a different cause. And it's like, it seems so obvious, but even I, someone who's studied this for thousands of hours, I never really connected these dots. So instead of saying, how can I earn more money today? You forget about the money. Obviously, yes, have this vision, right? Right here, I have my goal card, 100,000 a month, right? I have the vision, but I forget about how much I'm going to make today. I forget about what I'm going to get in return today. And my question I ask myself every day, how can I provide more value, right? Why do you think I'm here right now? How do you think I got this idea for this exact video? I said, what video can I make that will provide more value to who watches it? And I genuinely believe that if you watch this video, it should help you shift your mindset to have a new perception and a new idea of what money really is and your interaction with money, right? So if you want more money, if you want your money to go up, then your value, your service, and it doesn't have, it could be service, it could be your goods, whatever it is, your value has to increase. You could be like Amazon. They're above and beyond, right? They deliver very quickly. That's their value. Their value is speed. Your value could be going above and beyond, as in, someone pays for a new shirt and you throw in a pair of socks. I don't know, but you have to over deliver on everything. This video is free, right? So all the time I'm putting into this is a donation. And I'm not like, oh man, I'm not going to make money from this video, because I know I'm providing value and I will be compensated in the future. I don't know when, I don't care, it doesn't matter, because I know every day if I provide all the value I can provide, I must by law get rich. I'm gonna turn on the fan. I'm like actually sweating. Hopefully it's not too loud. I turned it down. So you need to understand that if you want to make more money, then you need to provide more value, right? And so when you spend money, you have to have this mindset of you know where to get it, right? So if you're like, okay, I want to spend this money, I'm going to spend $50 on this dinner, right? And so a lot of times maybe you're like, oh, well, it's just like, I don't want to spend that much money, whatever. Like, I just want to save, right? But now if you have this mindset and you say, okay, $50, all I have to do is provide more value and I'll get the money back. It allows the money to flow, which is the way it has to go. If you hold on to your money with white knuckles, it runs from you. You have to welcome money just like you would welcome a person, right? If people were coming to you, if people were coming into your house, you would be welcoming to them. You would be kind. You would invite them in. But what most people do, you wouldn't hold them hostage, right? If these people were coming into your life for the first time, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're staying here, you're not leaving, right? You're in jail, dude. This is the same way. People get the money and they hold on to it and they're like, oh, you're not going anywhere. I'm keeping you. And guess what? The money runs. The money runs so far away, so fast. And they're like, where'd it go? What happened? What'd I do? That's what you did. You have to treat money, and I know this sounds so silly, but you have to treat money like people. You have to welcome it in. How do you welcome in money? You accept it. When you earn a lot of money, you don't get all crazy and excited, right? So, for example, say for the first time you make $10,000 in a day. If you look at your phone, you're like, oh my God, I just made $10,000. This is crazy. I'm so rich. I could do anything. I'm on top of the world, right? And then say someone comes in your house that you've never met before. Like say it's a celebrity. You're not going to get all crazy and excited because they'll be uncomfortable. They'll be like, hey, whoa, like I'm just a person too. What are you doing, right? And if you were over the top, if you were obnoxious and super excited, they'd probably leave. They'd be like, you know what? That just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel cool. Like I felt like I was idolized there, right? That's what people do is they idolize money. They put money on this pedestal like some celebrity. They get super excited if they get any, and so it runs. Why do you think the celebrities don't like pictures? They're like, hey, leave me alone. Like I'm just going to get in my car. I got my bodyguards. Don't touch me, right? But if you go up to a celebrity and you're like, hey, bro, like, it's nice to meet you. I'm Nate. And you're cool with them. They'll probably talk to you, right? They'll stay for a while. But if you go up to them and you're like, oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you? I'm your biggest fan. They're like, hey, well, okay, yeah, whoa, hurry up. All right, I'm on my way, right? So you have to understand money is going to react the same way. So as you raise your level of awareness, as you provide more value, you need to understand that you have to welcome this money in. Don't be scared it's going to go away. Don't be excited it's coming in. Know that you deserve it because you provided the value, right? Because think about it. The only time you get excited for things is when you're overperforming, right? So say you average $10,000 a month, right? You're on a salary. You make $10K a month. It's not debatable, right? $10K. And then let's say you get a raise, you get a bonus, something, right? Somehow you get $12K. Let's just say you got a bonus. You're going to get excited because of this gap, right? And so what are you communicating to your mind? You're saying, hey, this isn't normal. I'm outperforming. This is crazy. Why am I doing this? How is this happening, right? You're telling your mind, whoa, like my self-image is 10K a month. I just made 12K. Holy smokes, right? You're communicating to your mind, I'm overperforming. And your mind is a regulator. So your mind will take you right back. And so maybe the next month you'll have these crazy expenses that pop up out of nowhere. And then, overall after the 2 months, you're still left with like 20K, like normal, right? Your mind is your regulator. And so what I'm trying to teach you is how to think about these things so that you don't self-regulate against the money. Because that's what people do. I see it all the time. Trust me, I host a group with trading. I've been a new trader before. I see people, they get so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money. I'm so rich. This is crazy. And the money runs. The money runs because you're excited. It doesn't feel welcome. It feels like you're fanboying over it. You have to understand that money is your servant. You need to have masculine energy toward the money. This thing is mine. I earned this. I deserve this. Thank you. Not, oh my gosh, whoa, this is so much. What if I lose? No, get out of here with that. The money's going to get out of there too. The money's going to get out of there too, right? If you have a business, say someone's cutting your hair and you sit in the chair and you're like, oh, like I'm really scared. I don't want to mess up your hair, right? You're probably going to be like, oh, whoa, I'm out of here, right? I don't want a bad haircut. But if you sit in the chair and they're like, all right, man, let's go. All right, let's get your hair. What do you want done? Okay, let's get it done. Bam, they do a good job. They have confidence. They can feel that. The money can feel you. It listens, it feels. It can't talk to you, but it can feel. It's vibration, just like everything else in this world. So if you want to vibrate on a level where you can have the money, where the money will come to you, you have to vibrate on a level of confidence, knowing that it's coming, expecting it to come. I expect to make $25,000 a week. I expect it. I check my bank account and I don't have $25,000 new dollars that week, then I'm behind. I'm behind. The second you look at your progress and you get excited, you're self-regulating, right? So you think of it like a thermostat, right? And so I know I'm kind of going off topic, but let's say you have the thermostat set at 65, right? And then it gets to like 70 in the house. Your AC's pumping, right? It's like, holy smokes, it's burning up in here. I got to kick the AC on, bam, 65, back, and then you turn it off again, right? Then the AC's off. You're back where you're supposed to be. And then it gets up to 67, 68, 69. Okay, yeah, turn back on, right? Comes back. You are the same way with yourself, with your weight, with your income, with anything. You self-regulate. And I'm on a massive tangent right now. I'm just flowing. You self-regulate yourself. You're self-regulating your results. If you want to change your results, you have to change the regulation. You have to see yourself as someone who makes 100K a month. You have to feel like someone who makes 100K a month. And when it starts to happen, you don't get excited because it's normal. If you say you want to make 100K a month and you have your first $10,000 week and you're like, holy smokes, you're telling your mind, I don't know what 100K a month even looks like. Because if you're someone who makes 100,000 a month, you're not excited about 10K. That's 10% of your income. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever. I make that in 3 days, right? That's literally 3 days of work. Okay, who cares? So you have to step into this version of you, visualize it, feel it, and then you'll understand that when it happens, it'll already feel real because you already had the feelings before you got the money. Right? So you have to welcome the money with open arms, just like you would welcome a person. I'm not saying to love money. In fact, the biggest thing you can do is kind of ignore the money and focus on the value. Focus on your input and know that the results will come, the money will come, the effects will come. It's a law of cause and effect. Watch my other video on that. It's one of the biggest laws. If you put in the input, if you provide the value, the results, the money, the friends, the family, the growth will come to you. Just like if you plant a seed and you water it every day, you keep providing more value to it, you keep providing, it's going to grow. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in 3 days, but you go out there in a few weeks, you'll be like, hey, it's sprouting up. And then in a few months, a year, you're like, holy smokes, that thing's huge, right? It takes time, but it happens. And so you need to understand this relationship to money is a lot of times what determines how much money you make. In fact, it is what determines how much money you make. Because if you see someone who makes 10K a month, that's the way they see themselves. They see themselves as a $10,000 a month person. They see themselves as a six-figure person. They carry themselves like a six-figure person. They talk, act, think, and feel like a six-figure person. And if they don't, then they don't have six figures. It's that simple. Because when you play the part, when you feel the feelings, when you think the thoughts, when you have the actions, if you have the thoughts, feelings, and actions, how can you not have the results? You have to. It's law. So understand that money is your servant, and as the money increases, as the progress comes, you welcome it. And you don't get, a lot of people, this is what happens, is they expect when things get good, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm just waiting for everything to fall apart. I'm just waiting for everything to go bad. And then it does. Because they're like, yeah, I expected that. Well, duh, your expectations is what causes reality. Whatever you fear or revere will come to pass. It's law. Perpetual transmutation. The thoughts you hold here move into physical form. If you're holding a thought of everything falling apart, of everything getting taken away from you, bam, it's gone. Just as fast as you can blink. This is why your mind is so important, because our mind alters the matrix that we live in. This life you live is a representation of the way you think. The drink you have in front of you, the computer you have in front of you, the iPad, the phone, where you live is your past thinking that you then took actions on, which led to your results. So if you take the thoughts, you have the feelings, you take the actions, you have to have the results. If you don't have the results, you need to check yourself. What thoughts, feelings, and actions am I lacking? Am I lacking the thoughts? Am I lacking the feelings? Am I lacking the actions? Or if you're lacking all three, get to work. But you have to understand that your relationship to everything in life is your self-image, and your self-image is what determines your reality. It's not a new business. It's not a new strategy. It's not a new source of income. Yes, it's great to expand, but if you are stuck under, 10, 20, 50, 100,000 a month, it's not the business. You can make millions doing anything. It's your self-image that is regulating you. You have these thoughts of these ideas you could take, and your self-image is regulating you, and you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know. I don't really have a good feeling. You don't do it. Bam, that's what would have got you to 100K a month. So you have to understand your self-image determines everything. And you have to change the way you think about things if you want the things you think about to change. Write that down. That's an absolute bar. You have to change the way you think about things if you want the things you think about to change. Change the way you think about money, and the money will change. It'll come to you in greater or lesser quantities based on the way you think about it. I feel like money is magnetized to me. I get paid every day. Every day I'm getting paid, right? Every day I'm getting paid. Every day I'm growing. Every day I'm providing value. Every day I work with the laws. Every day I grow. Every day my results grow. Every day my income grows. That's how I live. If you live any other way, you're going to get the other results that you don't want. I get paid every day. I make money every day. My income increases every month. This is my thoughts. These are the way I live. And anytime I've lived any other way, I got the other thing. I got less money. I made less income. I made less impact on people's lives. I provided less value. This is the only way to live. Walk in the knowing that I earn millions. I make $100,000 a month. I make $25,000 a week. I provide more value than I can even comprehend. I'm changing thousands of lives. If you walk in that knowing, if you walk in that confidence, you have those thoughts, those feelings, and those actions, by absolute law, you must have those results. You absolutely must. There's no exceptions to law. People just don't know the law. You can't bend the laws. The laws do not change. So you can work with them or you can work against them. Working with them is like flowing with the river. Working against them is swimming up the stream. It's very difficult, it's very exhausting, and you will not survive. You'll be in poverty. And that's why everyone lives in poverty, because they don't understand this concept. Money is value. Increase the value, increase your income. How can you provide more value? Help people. Do what you can. I guarantee you have this thought, you have this skill, you have this idea, you have this knowledge that can positively impact people. Get the ball rolling. You don't need to start some huge business. Start helping, start leaving people with increase, and you will begin to increase. If you help people get what they want, you can have whatever you want. It's growth. People want to win. You have to feel like a winner, and people will feel like they win when they work with you. If you feel like and you see yourself like a loser, that's how people see you. And you're going to be a loser because no one wants to be with a loser. I don't know. I don't even know what I said. I just went on a massive tangent. But understand that money is value. If you want to make more money, provide more value. And when you spend the money, don't worry about it. Instead, focus on providing more value, and you'll never have to worry about the money. If you're lacking in your money, you're lacking in the value. Money is the effect. You are the cause. You can pour in anything you want. You can pour in any results you want. You can pour in any knowledge you want. You can help anybody you want. You can't control where the money comes from. It doesn't matter where it comes from. God's going to pull it from places you never even knew existed. You're going to have people coming to you, you didn't even know their name, and they'll pay you a ton of money. Because you're leaving the impression of increase on all these people. You have confidence that you are changing lives, you are providing value, and in return, you are going to get an increase. Cause and effect. Cause increase, get increase. Cause decrease, get decrease. It's simple. Follow it, live it. You can't just understand it. You can't just learn it. You have to live it. So every day ask yourself, how did I provide value today? Who did I help today? How did I leave the impression of increase on someone today or something today? When you're walking outside, do you see trash on the floor and walk over it, or do you pick it up? Simple things like this. Everything is accounted for. Every action you take, every thought you have, and every feeling you feel has a rippled effect on the world, on God, and on the universe, and it all comes back to you due to the law of attraction. So you may think it doesn't matter. You may think no one's watching. You may feel like you don't care. You may walk past that person that you knew you could have helped up, and you walk past them, then they'll be fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's coming back to you. Someone's going to say that to you. Everything you think about other people, they're thinking about you. Every way you feel about other people, they're feeling about you. The way you see yourself is the way they feel about you, because these impulses of thought are reciprocated. All of them. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So if you want to change your effects, change the cause, change the input, change what you're pouring in, and you will change your results. You will change what you get. You will change how your life is. That's what I did. A month ago, I was at the lowest point in my life. Lowest point in my life, by far. What did I do? I said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm going to provide value. I'm going to change lives. I'm going all in. This week is just the beginning, right? Things are starting to manifest. Results are coming. People are coming. Flow is coming. Ideas are coming. Everything is coming. But you have to hold the image before the world changes. This outside world vibrates so slow. Your ideas come so slow. It's ridiculous. You can close your eyes right now and you can picture anything. Bam, 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 bam. Hawaii, Rolls Royce, Cullinan, Wraith, Lamborghini, Ferrari. You can picture it all back to back to back. There's no such thing as time in the spiritual world. Close your eyes, time's gone. So you have to understand that this world isn't that way. This is history, and it vibrates very, very slow. So you can't focus on changing this situation. You can't focus on changing the bank account. You focus on this world. You focus on where there is no time, there is no space. You focus on providing value, leaving increase, causing growth, and you will get growth. Remember I said cause and effect. Money is, if you're causing growth, if you're helping other people, you are the effect. You must grow, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever it is. It's a law. It is absolute law. I say it with absolute certainty, not a doubt in my mind. If you start pouring more in with the right thoughts, feelings, and actions, your results will change, and they will go up dramatically. You could go from 0 to 100K a month in 2 months if you have the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and you take the actions. You hold the image and you provide value, change lives, help others, your life will change. So understand that money is energy, and money is alive. It is very much alive. It is very much living. And every living thing, just like you, just like me, we love growth. We like to do more, have more, be more, help more. You want more. So does money. So if you provide value, if you are providing more, the money's coming to you. It's attracted to you. It's law. Because you are creating this frequency that it loves. It loves increase. It loves helping. It loves growth. And if you are emitting that, by law, it must come to you. So that was a big old mouthful. I hope you're able to stick with that and understand that. I went on a massive tangent, but it's just really this idea. You can't be worried about the money. You can't be worried about spending the money, because you know that all you need to do is provide more value and the money will come. It's the best to relate it to like a service-based business. If you have, like for me, I had a detailing business. I knew that if I went out and I provided service all day long, that I would get paid. Right? So what a lot of people don't realize is when you spend that money, just understand you just need to render the service of providing value through whatever means you provide value, and by law, the results will come. The money will come, the change will come, the new job will come, opportunities will come, everything. This isn't just for money. If you want a new job, outgrow your current situation, and by law, a new situation will come to you. If you outgrow all of your situations, you will constantly be in new ones. If you live in your box and you don't move, the box is going to stay. But if you break out of the box is gone. And it's free skies. So that's all for today. I'll post my link to my group and my mentorship in the description below. And I'll work on it. I'm trying to think of a worksheet I can make. I'll link another one that I have made previously in that description so you guys can work on that. And I recommend doing it on paper. Have it put up on your computer or on your phone, but then write it on paper. Answer the questions. And everything I do, you want to be honest with yourself. No one's going to read it. No one's going to know. Be honest with your results. Be honest with your thoughts. Be honest with your feelings. Be honest with your actions. Be honest with what you truly want, right? You have to live as this new person, and then the results will change. The results will come. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.